So, no one really tells you just how dangerous Facebook Marketplace is until you're sitting around some evening and you see something pop up and you're like, ooh, I could do something with that. And that gets kind of expensive. So this is my latest purchase. This is a Cannondale Adventure Neo All-Road e-bike. It's something I just picked up. And, well, maybe you're taking a look at it and you're thinking, hey, that looks pretty nice until you get down and you start seeing some issues here, especially with the rear tire. So I bought this actually as a project bike. This had gotten hit by the rear end. Had gotten hit here. You can see the rim is all bent up. Also, it's kind of missing a pedal. It's got a little road rash here, a little road rash down there. That crank arm, yeah, the guy I bought it off of said he got rear-ended by a car. It took a dive. He did not want to fix that, so he ended up putting it up on Facebook Marketplace, and, well, so now it's mine, which I think this is going to be a pretty fun project, to tell you the truth. These retail for about $1,700. I actually bought this for $300, and I think that's a pretty good deal for that. Like I said, this is going to need some parts. So it needs a new rim, I should say. Probably some spokes as well. I'll have to take all that off, measure the spokes, and check it out there. Also, it's going to need a set of pedals. I actually have a set. That's not really anything big. Maybe a crank arm over here. I have to see exactly what had happened. But as long as the bottom bracket's okay, I think it's going to be good. Now, as far as e-bikes go, this is to the lower end of the line, I should say. It's not the greatest specs. It's got a 250 watt Bafang motor. Now, Bafangs, I like Bafangs. I think they actually make some decent stuff. I've had their mid-drive stuff. I have a BBS HD, the 1000 watt mid-drive motor on my other electric bike. Never had one of their hub motors, so I'm kind of curious to see how exactly that's going to do. The battery, it's not great. It's a 36 volt system. It's about 11 amp hours. Cannondale says you should get about 47 miles of range on this. I kind of doubt that, to tell you the truth. If I got 25, I think that would be pretty lucky. I live in northeastern Pennsylvania. There are a lot of hills around here, so you kind of sip that battery juice a little bit more than if you're just riding somewhere flat. So we'll check that out to see how it goes. But the electronics and everything do work on it. This is a has 5 power assist levels on this. Let me turn on the bike here. See the Bafang come up. Only has 283 miles on it. The guy had just bought it. It looks like this was made in January 2025, and depending on when you're watching this, we're in February of 2026 right now, so yeah, it's not that old at all. Needs some maintenance items. Its front tire needs to be gone through. The brakes are kind of sticking a little bit. That's some minor stuff. The chain, chain needs a bit cleaning and oiling. Probably the rear sprocket as well. Looks like the derailleur is okay. I don't see anything bent out there. It didn't look like when it got hit it really affected that. Not the greatest derailleur. Microshift 26C. That's what I have. I have another Cannondale. I have a hybrid bike though. It's the same. It works. It's nothing fancy. Disc brakes on this. On the front, you have 180 millimeter, and on the rear, they're 160s. Unfortunately, though, these are cable driven. It's not the nice hydraulic ones. So they still work. I don't see an issue with it. At least they're not rim brakes. You don't really want to have that on an e-bike. Trust me on that one. Now this is a Class 2 e-bike. It does have the throttle. It can go up to about 20 miles an hour just on throttle alone. I haven't tested it, so I can't tell you exactly how fast it's going to go, but I'm old. I don't need to go fast. 20 miles an hour is absolutely perfect with me. These are 27.5-inch wheels, Kenda tires. Looks basic, decent tread on them. Like I said, this wasn't ridden very long. It's a large frame on these. The step-through bikes that they make in this model, you could actually get it as a small, but I'm a bigger dude, so the large is actually absolutely perfect for me. So right now I'm thinking there's two ways I can go with this bike. Either first we could just build it as it is, ride it around, see how it works, get everything fixed, get everything working fine, and go from there. Or we could do some upgrades on this. Bigger motor in the back, bigger battery, probably a different controller just to make sure that the battery holds up, and really make it into something. But I'm thinking right now I'm gonna fix it as it is, just to see how it works. If it gets me around the trails, if it gets me around a little bit, I'll be happy with that. Then maybe later on down the line, we could have some fun with this. But it does seem to be a decent bike. Very sturdy. Everything. Cannondale makes decent bikes. They're not the greatest, but they're decent. I've had the hybrid bike for about a year now, and it's worked for me. I can't complain. So, first thing we need to do, we have to get a rim for this. I do have to order that. I have to take off the rear wheel, measure the spokes. I think we might be able to reuse some of them, but I'm going to debate that one. See how much they are. Pedals, I have a set for that. That shouldn't be an issue. We do have to take a look at the crank arm. If the bottom bracket and everything's good on there, I don't think we're going to need anything. So I'm hoping maybe keep this build under $100. We'll see what goes from there. But if not, it's going to be a decent bike. Hopefully we'll get that working around, get some little bit of maintenance on it, get everything lubed up and safe and working, and by the time spring rolls around, maybe we'll have an e-bike to ride. So let's go check it out and get working on it. Let's get this thing on the stand first. Well, some good news. Finally got working on this bike again. It's a couple weeks later after I first got the bike. The weather's finally turning just a little bit, so we're going to be able to start working outside here, which is going to be nice and not sitting in my absolutely cluttered basement. But the good news is we were able to get a little bit of work done on this bike. I was able to get the rear wheel off. The funny thing was I had to... normally I only have sockets really around the house. And to get this off, this is actually an 18 millimeter wrench. And it's an 18 millimeter wrench, and I didn't have one, so I ran to the store and got them. And yes, I got to say, I'm a bit cheap. I normally don't buy name brand tools. I just kind of go to the Harbor Freight and get whatever's cheap. But I figured, yeah, why not? I might as well invest in some slightly better tools. I don't know how good cobalts are anyway, but we'll find out. It actually worked on this one. I was able to get that off. You can't use a socket because of the wiring here. This is the wire that goes back to the controller and the battery. But as you can see, this wheel is yeah, she bent. It takes a nice dip, and I don't know if you can see this. Hopefully it comes out on camera, but yeah, this thing is pretty bent. All right, good news. I got the tire off. Bad news, that thing is really warped. I don't know if it's coming over on camera or not, but that's the right angle. And yeah. Actually, I probably should have videoed the tire coming off, but it was a pain. That was probably the tightest bead that I've ever done on a bike tire. And to be quite frank with you, there was an extraordinary amount of swearing going on. So I skipped that. But at least the tire is off. And, ooh, yeah, it's even separating like right up here. That was a good one. Look at it, it goes right. So I doubt there's any helping it. Plus, I kind of scratched it up even a little bit more trying to get the bead off. And yeah, I think we're just going to replace this. So yeah, to be honest with you, it's not really all that difficult to remove these. It's just get yourself one of these nice little cheap tools and start twisting. We'll see soon. Anytime now. Here we go. It starts getting loose. And that's pretty much it. There's a little nipple here at the top, and we're going to loosen it first, and then we'll take that out. You could just use a little flathead screwdriver and take that out. It's not that hard, except these are stuck. Yeah. I didn't lubricate them at the factory or anything. As you can see, I'm working in my comfy pants. Yeah. But these aren't hard to get out. Little screwdriver. They have a flat head on them. Just screw them out. And then they'll get to a point where they don't want to go anymore, and you just pop them right out. That one wasn't it. I really need 2 hands for this. There we go. See? Boom. And you drop it right into the Harbor Freight parts thing. See? Harbor Freight. It's all kinds of junk. Harbor Freight. Legally, we can call these tools. But it works. This is simple. It's just getting the rest of these out. I'm sitting here wearing my reading glasses because I can't see that small. Yeah. It's fun getting old, folks. But we'll take this rim off. We'll take all the spokes out and the rim, and then we'll see if we could lace up the next one. That'll be fun. Stay tuned. Hooray! We're done. There's the leftovers right there, but we'll be reusing that. Take a look at this rim. Yeah. I think it's got that Peyronie's disease or whatever that's called. I don't think a pill is going to fix that one. Finally. It only took a little longer than I thought it would, but spokes are off, tires off, rims off. I am holding the heartbeat of the beast in my hand. Where's this? The brain. The battery is the heart. Whatever. This is the motor. It's a Bafang 250 watt. Nothing crazy. It works. I did test that. Couldn't really spin the back wheel very well because, you know, it's a little bent. But it does work. So we're going to get back. I've got a pile of spokes here on the floor, along with my other tools and implements of destruction. But I wanted to give this a good cleaning, get this all nice and shiny if I can, and then try to put this back together. Don't know if the spokes are going to work, but we'll figure that out. Well, that took a hot minute, but finally, we have rims. And ta-da! It's done. Well, at least the spokes are on. It's not even tensioned yet, and it's not dished, and it definitely is not true. I don't have a dishing tool, and I don't have a truing stand, so I'm gonna have to get creative here with some like zip ties and whatnot. So we'll keep building. So as you can see, I'm still here in my extremely messy basement, but hey, it works for me. Unfortunately, it's like 30 degrees out today. It was 70 the other day, 30 degrees and snowing. Yeah, welcome to Pennsylvania. As you can see, the wheel is laced. I actually did put this back on the bike, and for the only reason I did that was I don't own a truing stand. I should probably get one of them one of these days, but maybe I will. What I did first was I took what is in fact the world's cheapest tensionometer. Sorry, West Biking, it's kind of a garbage thing. Went through, measured each spoke, and just basically got them close. All I did was tighten them to where it says to about 25 or so. I don't know if you can see that right there. Ish. I just got them close. That way, everything is kind of together. Everything is kind of starting on the same. Then I put the wheel back on the bike. I actually had to take the derailleur off because I couldn't get this on, so I have to take this back off anyway. Put the brake pad back on, brake disc back on, I should say, and get that all done. But from there, all I did was kind of true up the wheel a little bit, and actually right now it does not look that bad. Like I said, I don't have a truing stand, but I did for a couple bucks buy one of these things at Harbor Freight. It kind of works. All you do is you put it really close, just to the point where it's just about touching. And that way you can kind of get it. Let's see. It's hard to do it with one hand, by the way. All right, so you get it close. Now this wheel's going to wobble, unfortunately, because the bike's actually just upside down. I don't have the stand in here or anything, or locked down. It'd be nice to get one of those Park Tools truing benches and truing stands, but yeah, I don't have that kind of money. I'm going to do this cheap. So as you can see, if you go back and forth with the wheel, it's really close. Now I did work on this for a while, but I trued it this way. I trued it from the other side as well, and then I also trued it on both things here, so that it's actually pretty much in round, almost just pretty much in round. This is what you do when you cheat, folks. Get it as close as you can without touching. Very slowly. You can see it's not perfect. But I'll work on that at some point. But this isn't a high-end build. This isn't something that I'm going to go racing or anything. This is something I'm going to go puttering around the neighborhood with. So that's pretty close. I think we're just about ready to put the tire back on, air it up, put the brakes on, see what we got. All right, I've got the back wheel here, got the tire on, got everything except the brake pad on. I have to find my brake clean somewhere. I'm not really sure where it is right now. Feel a little naked without it, be honest with you. But that's just about ready to go. I'll get that all cleaned up, get that happy. Taking a look at the front tire. Can you hear that? How is that thing turning? That was not adjusted at all correctly. Huh. I'll have to loosen the cap up here a little bit, and I don't know if I'm going to have to re-grease it or not. Probably at that point, because, oh boy, those ball bearings are probably eaten alive. Yay. All right, we are back taking a look at this front tire, and before, this axle would not move. I mean, at all. It was so tight. I can't believe this. No, it's a Cannondale. I believe they only sell through dealerships. I don't think you could actually buy it offline. At least when I bought a Cannondale, I had to get it shipped to a bike store where they put it together for me. I can't believe a bike store would actually do this, so I'm kind of curious if someone was monkeying around with this a little bit. But it's pretty simple to adjust these. You need a cone wrench. See these things? I don't know if you could, hopefully you could see it in the video, but they're tiny. Just, it's a weird thing. You put it on here, you take this bolt, loosen it, and then you can adjust it from there. Once you get the adjustment right, you take it back. Can I do this one-handed? Probably not. Taking it the wrong way. That's why. But anyway, now there's a little play, so I have to adjust that a little bit more. But you just get it in right to just snug, and then tighten down on the bolt. You don't want to have that. That's too loose. But it's actually spinning now. Let's try that. Note to self, invest in a tripod. Where's the... a little loose. I'm just going to do this. So eventually you can get it to where there's no play. It spins freely. It's all happy. I checked the lubrication in there. It's okay. I could probably take it apart and rebuild it. That's no big deal. Just putting new lubrication in there, making sure all the bearings are good, but it's not all that hard. There's no side-to-side play. There's nothing like that. So at least now this wheel rolls. I do not understand how this guy was riding this bike like that. That's just weird. All right, time to change the pedals. They're not new. See it? You gotta. They don't teach you this in YouTube school, how hard it is to run a camera and do your own stunts. Well, take this off. We'll swap them out. All right, so I put the pedals on there, and yeah, that crank arm is bent. Yeah, you could feel it. Not a big deal. I've got another one. We could fix that. But it has pedals. Look. Got it outside. I might be excited. Turn it on. The fang. Turn to 1. What do we have? Oh. Yep. She works. All right. Now, let's see if it goes down the road. Good news, everyone. The bike works. I just took it for a quick little spin up and down the road here, and yeah, it works. It needs some adjustment. Also, if you're sitting there thinking to yourself, hey, I was watching this video, and I don't remember him putting the brake back on. Yeah, no, you see it's there, right there. It's not sitting downstairs on the floor or anything. It's there, believe me. We'll fix that with AI, I guess. Anyway, I gotta take that back off, but it does work. I do need to replace this, because it feels really awkward. But it works. Getting closer. Got the tire back on. Got the brake disc on this time, but there's a little issue. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, she's warped. I got another one. Time to take it back off. Yay, this is fun. Alright, the brake disc is swapped. And looks decent. Just have to set the brake caliper. I swear to God, this is the last time I'm taking this tire off. Yeah, just a little bit. No big deal. Got another one. That's it. A couple of other adjustments. Nothing big. The brakes are out. That looks good right there. And negatives. Don't need one after all. Yeah. It's good cleaning. I think she's ready. This video is being brought to you by horse poop. Horse poop. It's stinky. At least I hope it's horse poop. All right. Well, I guess the day's arrived. It's April 4th. It's a Saturday. It also happens to be the first day of fishing season. So that's what I'm doing out here today. Finally have a chance to take this thing out. It's been not a very nice spring so far here in northeastern Pennsylvania, but maybe finally it's turning the corner. I'm here in Simpson, Pennsylvania. This is one of the trailheads for the D&H Trail. It's part of the Lackawanna River Heritage Trail System. Really nice area. We're just north of Carbondale. This trail, probably one of my favorite areas here in northeastern Pennsylvania as far as trails go, because it's just really neat. This is the lower end of it. This does go down, this goes all the way down from Carbondale throughout the Mid-Valley. It does break up in some spots. It goes down to Scranton and points beyond south. But from here, this goes north, pretty much straight to the New York border. It's kind of a neat area. So I figured this is going to be a good trail today. This is all mostly a gravel trail. And this should be a pretty good test for this bike. I got everything working. Still have some tweaking and stuff to do on it, but I think it's good to go out for at least a couple mile ride today. I still have to deep clean the chain here because it's still looking a little rusty, and give the bike a good bath because it's not looking too good. But so far, I took it on a quick little test drive and seems to hold up so far. I know, I got to get the seat good. Got to get a new seat here. Probably getting something a little bit bigger because I have a bony ass and it kind of hurts sometimes. But I'm going to get my fishing gear and everything together, and we're going to go for a little spin. Let's go. I am testing out a new mic system, by the way. I hope this sounds okay. I don't know if it's going to or not, but I guess we're going to find out. All right, let's put it on 1. Let's see how this thing does. I haven't checked out the gearing on this either yet, so. All right, I guess we'll find out. All right, so far not bad. A little bit of power. You can hear it. No cars coming. That's good. I don't want to get run over. Oh, never mind. There is one. You probably hear the roar of the Lackawanna right next to me. First impressions, it's actually rides nice. Going along about 10 miles an hour. I think I need to straighten the handlebars here just a little bit. They're just a bit crooked. I'll do that when I get home. Now in this area, it's probably not the nicest. This is an old industrial area, coal mining area. And this is a hardtail, so a little bumpy, but not bad. All right. At least it shifts gears. You probably see the old, maybe not, but the old railroad tracks right here that stop. This is the D&H Trail, the old Delaware and Hudson Rail Trail. In fact, there are 2 trails in this area. Right across the river here is the O&W Trail. This trail is improved. The Rail Trail Council around this area really did a nice job on this one. It's really a beautiful trail that goes from, pretty much here straight to the New York border, about 45, 50 miles away or so. It's not as improved as this. It's kind of a little bit more rugged in some spots, but still it's very nice. Now the O&W Trail on the other side is not improved. Mostly that's for ATV use. You could actually drive on that at some points of the year, including this time of the year once fishing season opens. You can go up for about a mile or 2. And there are a couple fishing holes over there. I've been on that side a couple of times. And I'm going to stop here for just a second, simply because I've already caught my lure on my glove. Good one, Joe. See? But at some points along the way, they have some picnic tables and bike areas to lock your bike. For about the first mile or so here, there really isn't many areas that you can get down to the river. It's fairly steep on some parts. Right about there, maybe you can climb down that. But I'm going to go up here about a mile. So far, though, this bike, it's riding nicely. The tires are handling the gravel pretty well. Over here you can get down to the river. And one thing about this part of the Lackawanna River, it's the only part on the river that the Fish Commission actually stocks. They do put some in a hole over here. There's a really nice spot, but you have to go on the O&W trail to access it. But mostly it's up here. I was out with them last year helping them. It was interesting. Gave me a nice chance to take the day off work and get out. And there's a car driving down that trail over there, which normally you don't see. You can see the old post here. It's probably been there 150 years. I'd have to look up to see when they actually built this rail line, because the D&H actually was founded as a canal company. There was a canal that ran from Honesdale, Pennsylvania, about 15 miles east of here. And it went all the way to Kingston, New York. 108 miles, 110 miles, I believe. And that's a fascinating canal. I think it ran until 1898, 1828 to 1898 or so. There's still some remnants of the canal left, not many, but it is neat to go take a look. But the D&H, when the D&H was founded, the owners, it's an amazing history. The federal government in the War of 1812 couldn't pay their bills, and there was two Philadelphia merchants who sold uniforms to the government. So in lieu of cash, they gave them land in this area, and it just happened to be like one of the richest coal mine deposits in the world. So once they figured that out, they actually built a gravity railroad. They would they'd haul the coal over the mountain here, Music Mountain on my right, up over the mountain and just ride it all the way to Honesdale. They'd put it on canal boats and ship it to Kingston, New York, and then float it down the Hudson. And here's our first stop. One thing I'm noticing about this bike is that, I don't know if there's a sensor off, but you feel like it just kind of wants to lurch sometimes. You know what, before I do that, this area, you can see there where the waterfall is, that's Panther Creek. That actually comes down off the mountain here. And what's neat about this area, this is now a wildlife preserve that goes all the way to the top of the mountain. Or, excuse me, not a wildlife preserve, a wild plant reserve. That's the words I'm looking for. But up here, the D&H, when they shipped coal to Honesdale, they ran it on one track, but they had a light track coming back to Carbondale to bring the coal mine cars. It was a narrow gauge track. And after a while, they figured, hey, people might want to take a ride on this. So they would have excursions. And right up there was a pretty famous one, Shepherd's Crook. The rail cars would go along the top of the ridge, turn down south. And again, this is completely unpowered. It was simply a giant roller coaster. I'll have to find a photo of it because it was pretty neat. It was a big, long curve to slow the cars down as they would come back into Carbondale. But it's right up here. Someday I'm going to have to take a hike. Also, too, the old telegraph telephone pole, which I think is always neat. And I don't know what happened to the screen here, but it's getting a little dark. Or possibly because I have polarized sunglasses on. Yeah, it's because I got polarized sunglasses on. All right. Let's try to make it down. Also, let's hope I don't die. This is a little steep here and muddy. Yeah, what the hell? I got health insurance. Ooh. The river's up a little bit. We've had some rain here recently. And all the snow melting, of course. Although we didn't get a ton of snow this year. But this isn't fun. Oh. Yikes. Oh, the things I do to go fishing. All right, that's not gonna work. Believe it or not, coming up is easier. There we go. Okie dokie. Didn't die. Sweet. All right. Move the mic to a different location. Hopefully, it still can sound okay. All right. Welcome to 2026. Just have a gold Phoebe on. I love these things. Doesn't work here in the Lackawanna quite as well as some other creeks, and that sucked. All right. Got to get into practice. Nothing yet. Let's see if I can get closer to those rapids there. Let's go up here. When the Fish Commission stocks, they usually come down here because this is not safe. So they'll dump them in right here. So let's see what's sitting in here. Maybe something wants to move. Nope. Nothing yet. Try one more right here. Get right in that, behind that rock. Nothing yet. If you see all through here, the sand looks black. This is all leftover coal, calm, the black rocks. This area was a heavily mined area. In fact, probably 60, 70 years ago, there were no trees. There was nothing here. This was all maybe longer than that. But when the rail line was in operation, there's all kinds of little mines all through this area. And I should have brought boots. Oh well, I'm a dumbass. But you can still see the coal mining activities here. In fact, I think there's one or two that are still small scale operations that are still open. Nothing. All right. This area is actually a deeper pool right through here. And normally the river's not close to being this high. Let's just try right here. I think it's going to be one of those days, folks. I may not catch anything today, but I'm not going to complain because I'm not working. Nah, nothing. Let's see if I can get in here or not. I kind of doubt it. All right. Nothing here. No big deal. Oh, why do I do this? By the way, this is a neat, hope this has come across on video. A neat old railroad bridge. Stonework. It's really neat. And there's lots of neat historical artifacts all through here. If you're in the northeastern Pennsylvania area, I highly recommend coming to this trail. Spend a couple hours hiking between here and Forest City, maybe even up to Uniondale, if you feel like it. Because it's worth it, especially when the weather's nice. All right. When they built the trail, actually probably just took the rail lines out of here. They never really bothered even getting rid of the ties. So they're all over the place here. There's a little vernal pool. Unfortunately, there's some garbage too, which is sad. If I had a garbage bag with me, I'd probably go clean it up. Yeah, next time. But such a nice peaceful area through here. I'm going to try the camera on my chest this time. That works. I honestly don't know. I'm kind of new to this stuff. But having fun learning. Also, I completely realized I didn't bring my helmet. Oops. What's a little brain damage between friends if I fall? All right. Over the bridge. I honestly didn't think 250 watt motor on this thing would be enough, but on this trail, actually fine. Up here's a neat area. Right here, the O&W. The O&W comes right here. I could show you that because it's not improved at all. I tried to bike it once and that was a bad afternoon. Especially because I was on a road bike. But this does end up separating and going away from the D&W trail, or D&H trail, I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm from Scranton. D&W just comes to mind. Especially since I used to work at Rock 107 with them. All right, we're going to try something here. I don't know how this is going to work, but we'll find out. It is a mountain bike, right? Let's give it a good workout. This does need hydraulic brakes. Hey. All right. I may be dumb, but I ain't crazy. I'm not going to try to ride over that. Yeah, I think the sensor or something. I can feel the motor kicking on a little bit. In fact, I should probably turn that off right now. There we go. All right, let's park. And this is the double waterfall. This is a big party spot, so you'll see fires and everything else here. Let's see if we can get out there. Are we going in the drink? Let's hope not. Nope. All right. Yeah, this is kind of cool. Nah, I never have much luck here. Down here, I've caught fish. So let's go there. There we go. Glass. Nice. Let's try right here. Ah, crud. Yeah. Didn't see that branch there. But, all good. Yeah. Trying to hit a seam. There we go. Nope. All right. By the way, once again, if you're watching this trying to pick up some good fishing tips, just remember, I suck. I'm just out here having fun. If my family counted on me to hunt, fish, and gather for a living, we'd starve. Yeah, it'd be bad. Yeah. Nothing. All right, well. Yeah. There are other places I want to try. Made it back out of the rocks. A lot of breath. All right, let's try this again. Now down here is a nice area to go to. I don't know, there's already someone down there though. Yeah, we'll hit that later. Considering how it would be with the river being up this high. Now there used to be some spur lines that came across here that headed over to the O&W. There used to be a bridge right here. And they have a nice little plaque. Yeah, we can stop. It's fishing day. It's a holiday. I have nothing, no other plans. You see how, just from the photos, this area is pretty much wiped out. Not a lot of trees around here. Hope you can see that. It's pretty neat. If I was ambitious, I might climb that, but yeah, no. So my initial impressions about this bike are, I like it. It's actually, I mean, it feels built well. Rides nicely. Enough power. I don't think, it's nice for a trail system like this. Road biking, especially around my house, as you can see, we live in the area of mountains here, so I don't think, going up hills, I don't know if this is going to be enough. But for something like this, absolutely no issues. Sometimes I'll fish right below this bridge here, but I have some other spots I want to hit today. Right up here. I never have much luck here. And you can see all the ATV trails. They come across from the O&W. They head over to the river here. This is a big ATV area. A lot of old coal mines. Oh, this is neat. Hang on. I don't know if I should. Ah, you know what? Screw it. I got time. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I don't know what this is for. But if you're coming along the trail, you probably wouldn't even notice it because it just looks like Stonehenge. I mean, I've seen some videos here on YouTube with people that have come here and taken a look. And I don't know exactly what it was used for. You can see the bolts coming out of the top here. It was some kind of raised platform for some reason. They did some kind of work here. Take me a picture. I don't know if it was a building off the ground because the river might flood. Or what exactly they used it for. Or some kind of transfer. But at the river right here. Is that wreckage or? Some kind of tarp. And as you can see over here, these giant coal piles. This is kind of waste coal. It's like half coal, half rock. There used to be giant, and I mean giant piles of this all throughout northeastern Pennsylvania when I was growing up in the 70s and the 80s. Little bit by little bit, they're getting rid of it. A lot of it they used to fill the mines back in, flush the mines. A lot of it's just still hanging around. Some of it's you could burn, but it's really sooty. It's not good stuff. But this is one of the leftover issues from coal mining. I think this mine over here may still be operational, but it's a strip mine now. There's really not much deep mining left at all. There's probably like a handful of people that do it. In fact, up in this area, mining is almost like non-existent. And once you get down to Carbon and Schuylkill counties, that area down there in the southern anthracite field, you'll still see some mining. But up here, they pretty much cleared everything out. But I just wanted to show you that because that was kind of neat. I still don't know what that's for. I've looked on the old maps and everything else and can't really tell. You know, I was worried about the battery in this bike and how long this was going to last, but I think I should worry about the battery in the camera because I didn't bring any extra with me. Oh well. We'll film as long as we can. I'm going to stop right up here anyway. And someone set a tent. Oh, that's cool. Oh, you know what? Right here. Yeah, we'll stop right here. And as you can see, beavers. This is the only spot in this area, in this river, that I've seen beavers. Alright, don't die. That would suck. Just try here for a couple casts, because why not? No, don't. There's a tree in the water right there. I'll try to avoid it if possible. Nothing. All right. All right, this is really cool. Terrifying, but cool. Right here's where the O&W comes down. And this was a crossing because of this mine over here. This is an old railroad bridge. Obviously not functional. But get you some really cool views. If I don't die. A lot of people out fishing today. This is rotten. I don't know if I should actually cross this or not, but dang it, I'm gonna do it. As you can see, the timber base, so that was probably not built by the D&H. This was probably built privately. And welcome to the Strippins. But while we're here, Probably not the best place to go fishing, but yeah, what the hell. Not like we're going to catch anything or anything. No. Let's try something different. Ow, that was pickers. Mark up my legs even more. Yeah. How about this? See the bridge? Yeah, I doubt anything's going to be in here, but hey, you never know. River's too high. It's cool though. No complaints. All right. By the way, if you go under this bridge and look at the condition, you would not be on it. Trust me. Yeah, that was frightening. Okay. Didn't die. Sweet. Well, they cleared their tent out. All right, camera battery is almost dead. We've got one more stop up here. And that's the wrong button, Joe. There we go. Okay. One more quick stop, and then we'll head back. Okay. All kinds of people up here now. Good to see kids out today. Hope they're catching something. Hey. This is the last easy place to get to the river until you hit Forest City. There are some other spots, but it's not quite as nice to get down there. Let's go over here first. I've had some luck in this hole. There's some nice ones down here. Mostly it's rainbows through here. Once you go a little farther south on the river, wild brownies. But this area where they stock, it's mostly rainbows. Maybe catch a couple browns. Maybe a brook trout or two. Come on. It was stuck. There we go. I almost think I need some weight today. Let's go across the river. Okay.
I was waiting for you to show me how it's done.
I wish I knew. River's up a little too high today, but
Yeah, real bad.
always nice people out here. All right, don't die again. Keep saying that. I like this hole though. This one, I always have good luck in. Don't know how it's going to be today, but we'll find out. I haven't even seen one yet. Yeah. Good cast, Joe. Absolutely nothing. See if they're down here in the flat. So I almost lose my lure there in the tree. Nothing. Throwing garbage in the water. Nice. All right, I said that was my last cast, but I lie a bit. I'm a fisherman. Not a good one, but I'm a fisherman. All right. Okay, that's enough for me. I wonder if this is still recording. All right, we're down to 14%. Should have brought a battery. Oh well, next time I'll learn. Again, I'm really new at this, so. And I'm just doing this channel for fun. So yeah, this trail, about another 2.5 miles to Forest City. It's a nice walk or a bike ride. And from here, I'm going to say it's about 2.5 miles back to Simpson. But as far as this bike, I like it. It was actually kind of perfect for this. I didn't really think, I thought the 250 watt motor was going to be too little. But for this kind of stuff, it's great. Still considering doing some upgrades though, a bigger battery, going to a 48 volt system, either 500 or 750 watt motor. I don't know, maybe, maybe not. But this was a fun little project. Got me to do something, and I got a new bike out of it. So a little more tweaking. Really would like to go to hydraulic brakes though. That's, mechanical brakes aren't really my thing. They don't work all that great, but on this one I'm not going to be going that fast anyway, so. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. And if you see a bike, you want to fix it, just do it. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I just did it. Thanks. There's 5 take you up to. Oh, that's nice. That's a nice power. Actually, it's a little too much. It's way too much for this. Let's go back down to 1. As I like living life in the slow lane, folks.